This is the English version of the live session about art and technology. Essa é a versão em inglês dessa conversa, desse bate-papo sobre arte e tecnologia. Eu fiz em português já. Portuguese version is already available. I did 1 hour before. It's already probably available here on my page on Facebook, and I'm going to soon also post on YouTube. And now that's the time for the English version. Agora a versão em inglês. Se quiser assistir em português, já está disponível na página e provavelmente em breve no YouTube. I'm very excited about doing this live session and to start this conversation with you guys about art and technology. I have been thinking a lot about these topics, trying to understand things, how they work, both from the technological point of view and also think about how this relates to the work we do as artists and how that relates to the society and the market. It's a very complex equation here with many moving pieces. I don't claim to be an expert on this topic. I'm very far from it. My perspective, my view as an artist who is very involved with technology in general and who's trying to understand the mediums to make it work for my art and the things that I produce. And this is what I want to share with you. So it's a little bit about my insights about the topic. And hopefully also I want to open the door, open the conversation for us to talk about this and think together about possibilities for now and for the future. Ways for us to understand how things are happening and the best ways for us to move forward. I prepared here a few things for this live session. I'm also actually trying all this technology and different cameras and equipment because I think this is a very useful tool for us to have today to understand all this. And I'm planning a series of projects moving forward that I may be using a similar structure to this for many different things that we're going to be talking about. I think there are many advantages of understanding this, and this is a very useful skill tool to have to be able to create high quality content and use the technology we have available to do our art, which is very much the topic for this live section, talk about art and talk about technology. I prepared here a little sheet for you guys that I just want to show quickly and talk about the different topics that we're going to be talking about. We will be talking about the historical context, about the relationship of art and technology. We're going to be talking about the art in the internet, specifically talking about the relationship between visualizations and the financial aspect of this. We're going to be talking about various social medias, trying to understand some thoughts about the different platforms that we have available. Talking about the idea of the artist being accessible, multi-platform, creating this contact and availability for the audience and also to collaborate with other artists. I'm going to talk about share some thoughts about the difference between website and email kind of contact and platform versus social medias. Also my experience during the quarantine, what I learned during this entire process, thoughts about artists' website in general related to the topic number 5. Then I'm going to talk about participation models and interaction, which I think is one of the paths for the future. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the projects and the ideas that I have. My idea with this live, as I mentioned, is more for us to start a conversation than for me to teach you guys something. Hopefully you're going to learn something new, but that's not the focus. It's not a tutorial on how to be an artist online. It's much more about my thoughts about art and technology, art online, our reality today, and to open a conversation because I know that many of you here, people who are my friends on these platforms, are artists or people who are related, work in areas related to art, and people who appreciate art. So I think you guys probably have your thoughts about all these topics that we're gonna be talking today, and I would love to hear that. So this is not a one-way situation. It's a two-way. The idea I will not be reading here because I want to make it dynamic for you guys to watch, and I want to share all the ideas that I have. But I'm going to be reading all the comments later. I'm going to be commenting back, and hopefully also it inspires you guys to share some ideas and other people to respond. So we have a little bit of a space using this platform here, Facebook, and later YouTube, because I'm going to be posting this also on YouTube to share this elements that we're talking about, and then start a conversation around all these topics. This live session, the idea of this live session came about very much because of another live session that I helped to produce for a great pianist friend of mine, Emma Cohen. Alex was doing his sessions for, I think, months, and then he was not here in New York to do a few, actually two, and then I did one this week, and I'm going to be doing the next one next week, which has a bigger structure than this. Instead of 2 cameras, we have 4 cameras there, and also it's a band, so there's all the audio from the band, so it's a little bit of a bigger structure. And it inspired me to try this and actually to get the cables and the stuff that I needed to be able to do this session with multiple cameras. In the case here, only 2. I do have another one, but I said there's no need, it's only filming myself. I'm good with a close-up in a medium shot for this session. It's enough complexity, and I'm also using this as an opportunity to test in real time, live sharing, using like a software of streaming, and then cutting between cameras and adding also the texts that you guys saw, for example, like this. You can see like the little camera also with me in the top. I'm using many different things, opportunity to test this. So, before we move forward, I had this idea when I was thinking about the live session. How about I share this experience, a little bit of the experience of filming and doing this live concert for Emmett's channel. I was helping with the video, like setting up the cameras and then doing all the live cuts for his concerts. And I also filmed a little bit during it, and that's what I want to share with you guys. It's a very rough cut, a little vlog style experience of this event, this live session that I did for Emmett. About to go to Harlem to do a live session very much related to the topic of the last video. I'm gonna be running the cameras and the audio, everything for Emmett. And check out the sunset. All right, I'll keep you guys posted, sharing a little bit of this experience. Tô aqui no World Trade Center agora para pegar o trem para ir pro Harlem, para Uptown. Chegando já. Already here. Going up the stairs. Let's do this.
You gotta get up swiftly. Show life you're here to stay. Just when you think the battle's done, don't quit the game, the war ain't won. You've got to go back to where you started. Sit through the noise and up where your heart is. Answers have been here all along, you already know. Oh my God.
He's just looking for a clip. We're gonna film this clip right here. Okay.
I may seem proud, I may act gay. Oh, but it's just a pose, I'm not that way. 'Cause deep down in my heart I say, boop, 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 boop. I surrender, dear. For the little mean things you were doing. Oh, must have been part of the game. Landing a slice to the way. Oh, but I don't care who's to blame.
I was very happy to participate in this event. To do this was a little bit of a challenge, to learn different skills, use the equipment, understand how to do it, but once it was going, it was super fun. The music was great, and to be able to do the live editing was a new experience. I'm very used to do editing post-production, which is a completely different beast than to be editing in real time. So it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot, and also it inspired me. It inspired me for a few different reasons. One was to see people doing it and see friends doing it and having like an amazing results, a quality of production very nice for something that we did by ourselves. We're not like a big crew. I was the only one. I was the crew doing the video, and then he was doing the sound check with the audio in a board side to him. So it was very nice to see all this, the good quality happening with these resources that we have available. I'm not saying that like having the cameras and all this stuff, that's quite an investment. And I'm lucky to already have this because I work with video for many years. But once you have this equipment, which is expensive, but it's also much less expensive than if you think about like TV cameras and all that, like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So no like artist would have like the resources to do this by himself like he was years ago, and now we have this. And the quality of these cameras, as you guys are seeing here, for example, it's quite amazing. I mean, the quality of these cameras, you have like a good camera, a good lens, you have like an amazing results. And that leads me to the advancement of technology and how art and technology talked one to the other, which is the main topic of this video. I just want to bring some ideas for you guys to think about. Is that reality is throughout history, the technology in a way dictated or shaped the path of the arts. Yes. So if you think about the instruments, the creation of musical instruments allow artists to learn and to be proficient in these instruments, allow composers to write for those instruments. The evolution of the musical instruments also created new ways of doing music. For example, the creation of the electric guitar, for example. It changed the musical landscape. You see, like all the rock and roll movement, it was because of the creation of electric instruments, as an example. And even if we go back to classical music, the music that we know and the music that we do now, and we think about all the symphonies and other like large format music, which is very complex, only exists because of the creation of musical notation, right? So the evolution of the tools in a way shaped the direction of art. And if we think about today, I feel that this technology and other kinds of technology, the technology we are doing now, like be able to do this, to live stream, to have like social media and to have all the internet, this is also shaping the way people produce and what people produce, because it's a very complex equation if we think about it. So for example, we think about the resources, the technical things we have, like equipment, like the cameras, like the cables, like like the internet. We have to think also about the ways of diffusion, the way of how people can have access to things. That now people have access, like in Japan, in Brazil, like people may be watching this, I don't know where, So we have all these new possibilities, and this also changed like the whole market, the whole situation, the environment where art happens, the way people collaborate. Think about the quarantine, the number of people doing this kind of online collaborations. I myself did like a very ambitious one, which was my Danças da Quarentena, which is available on YouTube, and I did like a full diary telling like the story. So all these projects, they only happened the way they happened, and maybe they only happened because of the technology we have available and the situation we live in. And all this has a big impact in the shape and the direction of the arts. And this is the thought that I want to bring to you guys here, for us to think about it and to think where are we in terms of our production? How does this production of art also relates to the market, and also relates to being a financially viable, like doable, sustainable, and how can we make it move forward in a healthy way, in a way that works for the artists, and we're going to have a positive outcome, a change in direction of the art that is positive, because this technology, as we talked before, is influencing and is going to influence much more to the future the way in what we produce. So once again, the idea is to create a conversation here. So if you have thoughts, if you don't agree with me, or if you have anything that you want to add, please write in the comments. I would love to read all your thoughts, to continue this conversation after the video is done. I'm not going to be responding here because I feel that I want to make it more dynamic, and I have like a schedule, a plan to share some ideas with you, but I want the conversation to continue later, and maybe depending on what you guys write to me and how the conversation goes, it can like inspire a new live session with new thoughts and new things to share and to talk about. Yes? So let's keep going. I want to go back here to my little list. We talked about actually, we're just in the beginning of the list, but that was the big topic, talking about the context and the panorama of now. Now I want to dive a little bit deeper into like visualizations, finance, social medias, and the various social medias. This is like very much related, one topic to the other. So regarding accessibility, visualization, the way we can reach people, and then the way we can make stuff available for people, and also the finances related to this. I think it's a two-edged sword, and it's a delicate topic that I think we should be thinking more about it than we do. And I think now, because of this pandemic, we're thinking more about it because we need to. It's wonderful that we do have this technology and everything that's available for us to share what we do and to reach the most varied audiences, right? All the algorithms to put forward things that people enjoy and want to see, and the possibility of people who are like in the middle of nowhere producing something that would never get to the big media, suddenly maybe are viral and people like see this everywhere, and all this. Also the possibility of building an audience online. So this is all wonderful things about the internet. The idea also that there are no gatekeepers for me to do a live session. They suddenly stream something with a good quality for people, whoever wants to see, be able to see it. So this is all wonderful, the great sides of the technology. And then there's the other side we need to think about, is that once everything is online, everybody's publishing and posting things all the time, and all this content we live in a free model, right? With Facebook, with YouTube, everything is for free. We created a society that understands that content online is free. And this, I think, is a danger, right? Because it is free, but it has a cost to produce, and artists need resources to be alive, paying their bills, and to be producing, right? So we need to find that balance, and I feel that different artists are looking for ways to find these possibilities and ways of making it happen in the digital universe. As we saw, like Emmett is a good example of someone who is doing something creative and is finding interesting ways of keeping this production. He hired me to do the video, so he was paying for me. It means that someone was paying for the structure that he was doing, and he was able to do his art. And this is very important for us to understand, both as artists and also as audience, how we as artists can make a living and can finance the projects we want to do and that we believe in, and to how audiences can also support and make possible projects that they believe in. So it's like this two-side conversation. And I feel that we are in a stage of maturing, like evolving all this in the online universe. Copyright laws, we're understanding better these technologies and also creating different possibilities. And that leads me to the ideas of the multiple platforms. We need to understand, and this is something that I'm starting to understand now, that to see all these platforms a little bit like tools and a little bit like, like a convention, where you go, you have your little stand and you show what you have to offer. Or if you are in a market and you share like free samples of your food, of whatever you're doing, for people to get to know you, get to know what you do, maybe, and then if they're interested, they have a door, an entry to your store, to your shop, to your restaurant, using this metaphor about the market or a convention. So this is something that I'm trying to understand, and I would love to hear from you guys what you think about these topics and these ways of seeing all this moving technology. I remember like years ago, my only focus was like, I want to have people like seeing my music, seeing what I do. I want to post stuff online, and that's it. And then after a while, like, but how is this going to be financially viable? And now I'm seeing these other models, and then also doing courses and other things that I see possibilities of making all these projects viable. And this is also one of the main topics here of this live session. What I wanted to talk with you guys and ask for your opinions about it. How do you see arts being financially sustainable online? How do you see artists who are like small or medium-sized artists who have like a few thousand viewers make their project sustainable online? Because we understand and we know that, for example, on YouTube, in some platforms, you have like millions of followers. It's maybe you're going to have sponsors, and also the platforms pays you not much, but because you have a huge amount, then it adds up. But if you have like a few thousand views, and it's going to be much harder to get sponsorship, and also it's going to be what you're going to get from the platform is very little. So how then, but the quality maybe those artists and the people are interested. If you're a restaurant and you have like a 1,000 customers, you can make the restaurant work. Like online on YouTube is not the same. So we need to think about and understand the possibilities we have. And this is something I have been thinking a lot. I'm thinking about different models, seeing what people are doing. And the idea, as I mentioned, is to be a conversation starter. I want to go back to our little list here to then move forward. I want to, and this brings, what we're talking, bring me to the idea of website, email versus social media. And the thing is interesting for me is to notice how they're both online. We can post our things online, but depending on the platform, they work very differently. And they work best for a different kind of audience. Some audience people just want to check, oh, he's doing this, and it's enough, scroll. Other people, oh, this is so cool, I want to see it. And other people, oh, this is wonderful, is there more of this? So, and this different kinds of engagement, different kinds of interaction people are looking for, and places to post different things. Also, I feel that social media, we are slaves of the algorithm in the way that people are only going to see what we do if people like or share, and there's all this game of liking and sharing and commenting that I'm by the way, playing here, I'm asking you guys to comment and to like and to share. Because this is the way the algorithm understands that has some value for people and that people actually want to watch it and all that. And when you have an email, once someone subscribes to your mailing list, or if you have a website and someone decides to visit your website, then it's a different kind of relationship. And I think this is very important for us to understand that Facebook, YouTube, and all these platforms are a little bit like your market tent, like a little tent in the market or in a convention, that you are there, you are being seen, people are like walking by and looking at you, and then you have your website, your mailing letter, as a little bit like your store, your actual, like, you know, like everything you have is there. And this took me a while to understand. I still think that I'm processing this, and by understanding this, I'm changing what I'm doing. I'm actually updating my website, and this is a little bit of what I want to share with you, what I'm doing, why I'm doing. Have your feedback. I would love to have your feedback. Maybe inspire you to maybe also do something in regards to your work in that regard. So now a new thing here in technology, let me try to share my website with you guys so we can see it in real time together. Yeah, so this is new, a completely new website that I'm working on. It's not fully updated yet, but it's in the ways. So like I'm trying to organize in a way that anyone who wants to have access to, want to know more about my work, have access to what I do, have easy access. Yes? So here everything about. I mean, you guys know how websites work. I don't need to explain to you guys. But I want to bring attention to a few features that I'm very excited about. One is the multilingual, the possibility to have things in Portuguese and in English that my past website struggled a little bit to make it work. And then the things that started here during the pandemic and that I'm very focused about, which are the courses, the possibility to create these online courses for people to do live with me and then to watch and replay. So, and I have here this one, for example, 6 hours of content, of video content, recorded in various topics, have in English and in Portuguese, both recorded in their like native languages. And then I want to bring attention here to exclusive for members, and also here on the top right you see my Facebook like profile avatar, like the logo. So people, you can register as you register on like Netflix or any other website of membership base, and then as a member you could join any of the sessions. And this is I think an important element that I'm seeing people doing, and I think is one of the possible paths for the future sustainability of the arts, and for it to work in a good way for artists. I also want to, something that I should have done like years ago, just a parenthesis here, is to have a catalog, like really have my work. It's very important, I think, for artists to have their work available for people who want to have access to it. Here I have, for example, combos, and you see, let's say like jazz combo, and then I enter, and then it has like for you to listen, this, and it has like the price, and then how you can have the music, and then contact me. So like trying to make it in a way to create this direct contact with people who are actually interested. Going back to the metaphor of the store, how I can invite someone to my restaurant. How can I invite you and other people who are interested in trying my food and order different dishes to actually come to my restaurant and enjoy the experience. So this is a little bit of what I'm doing lately. And this is, I think there are many sides to it, and it's like a one part, one engine of many engines working. And there's a lot of complexity here, and that's the reason I'm doing this live and why I want your interaction, because I think probably all of you have some thoughts about all this. And maybe you're seeing something that I'm not seeing. Or maybe you just learn something from what I'm doing here, and that maybe you think and have all the ideas. So, and this is the goal of this live session, is to share a little bit my experiences, maybe have you guys learn something with my experiences, and then to have the door open for us to talk more about these topics and interact. And maybe then I learn something from you guys, which is also would be wonderful. And this leads me to the very last topic of this live session, which is projects for the future. And I want to share a little bit of like the backstage of what I do, share a little bit of my secrets, which are not secrets, and what I'm planning to do for the future, my ideas, and I would love to have your feedback. I really want to continue focus on creating sustainability online, to use this technology to the best that I can, to create high quality content, to use this new technology and the possibilities that we have online to create contact with people who maybe would not have contact with me because of distance, and make the best use of what we have available to create something beautiful. And the challenge now is how to understand how to use all this technology, how to understand the best ways to make it happen, and also to make it work in our society, work in our market, which is also a big challenge. And I think it's a conversation that we need to have about social medias, about how they pay, how artists finance their projects, how things are sustainable, and how this, because it's a whole cycle, a whole equation here of the system, the technology, what artists do, and what audiences, what people want to watch, and how this works in terms of finances, which is a big challenge. I know that many, for example, in Brazil, there are many like grants and stuff. Some other countries have grants. Here, for example, in the States, there are also grants, but very much is related to how things are actually sustainable in a capitalist society. Like you do something, you offer something, you get paid, you get this money to produce more and to keep doing and living. So we need to understand how this happens online. This is very much about what I'm trying to think about and to find solutions, not just for my work, but also for the community that I live in, because I think this is a struggle that many of us are living now, and especially in this moment due to COVID, that we cannot perform live. We're having to rely on these online platforms, but the online platforms are not matured enough and working in a way that is fully sustainable for most artists. So there's so much to think about, and I'm very glad to be doing this, and I'm looking forward to finishing this live session and seeing the comments and talking to whoever is interested in this topic. Also talking about projects for the future. I'm here now in New York, actually Jersey City, across the river, but I'm gonna be living for Brazil for a couple months. I'm gonna be in Brazil the very end of the year, and then beginning of next year, and I have a few projects planned there, including live sessions, including many things for these new platforms that I cannot share yet because they're not set. I don't know if they're gonna go the way I plan, if there are other things that are gonna happen, so I will not share yet because I don't want to say something that's not gonna happen. But I want to share that I have many plans, ideas. I'm doing this live session also as a way to test all this technology, to see if I have the necessary gear to make my ideas a reality, use the tools for the art. And hopefully I'm gonna have you guys with me participating in these projects, being members of the website, subscribing to the newsletter. Yes, I do have a newsletter. Subscribe if you want to receive news and much more. And that's it. There was a long night for me. I did these 2 live sessions, one in English, one in Portuguese, sharing a little bit of my thoughts. And that's it. See you in the next video, hopefully soon.